You're listening to Nothing Important.
All right, listen to me, you two dickbags. Here's what you're going to do with that podcast.
Please enjoy the show.
That's great. That works.
This is the Nothing Important Podcast. Insert witty tagline here. My name is Brian, and with me, as always, is my man lover, Dave. Dave, how's it going this evening?
I don't think Jared Leto is going to ruin Suicide Squad.
I don't think so either. I think I'm not a big fan of like the way that the Joker has like tattoos and a grill. Like that's a little
real quick. I got to read you this. Early shots of Jared Leto as the clown prince of crime aren't even recognizable as the pretty star, but the insane clown posse escapee look is a truly terrible modernization of the character.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that.
Insane clown posse escapee.
Well, it's good that he broke off and did his own thing. That was a good thing for the Joker, I feel.
Yeah,
you know,
him and Kid Rock.
Right. Sometimes you just got to spread your wing and fly and make rockabilly rap music and hang out with Harley Quinn and fight Batman. So that's just like that's life, Dave. That's life. We all go through that.
First world problems.
Exactly. So coming up is Dan Gordon, voiceover artist, actor, really solid, really cool dude, right, Dave?
Voice of several big-time companies and iconic voice. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
And even an iconic role. Wait, no. God damn it. Even a product once held by an icon. How's
indeed.
that better?
Hero, really. That sounds good. There?
I am here.
Are you actually recording?
I am recording.
You are.
Are you talking?
I am talking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, we have Dan Gordon on the phone.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going, Dan? Welcome to Nothing Important.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you know what? me and Dave always joke about this, but it actually kind of hit me in reality. The name of our show is Nothing Important, and then you're the nice girl that connected us and passed us through the phone. Like actually hearing her, you're like, oh, you're on Brian on Nothing Important, and then I was like, oh man, once again, somebody probably thinks we think they're not important, but we think you are very important.
You know what? I really appreciate that validation. Whenever I start to waver, I just call my mom, and she gives me a nice vote of confidence. So it's nice to get that from outside the family.
Awesome. Well, Dan, once again, welcome to the show. You're most recently in Norm of the North. You did voiceover work. And voiceover work is something that Dave and I are always super interested in, but I guess we've never had the balls to try ourselves. Right, Dave?
Pretty much. That's why we just tape ourselves.
Right. You know what? I don't know how to tell you this, but you guys actually do voiceover work pretty regularly. You have a show called Nothing Important, and that's voiceover work.
I guess. You know what's funny is coming up in February, we have like a 4-show engagement, a small radio show on a small time station in Florida. And for that, we sold spots and we made commercials, like, you know, the folks that paid us just a small amount of money just to kind of help ease the pain a little bit. And we did the work for those commercials. And what we're learning through the process is Dave is an audio engineer, so he's kind of used to it. But for me, it's still, one, really weird to hear my voice recorded, and two, just the actual process of standing in front of the microphone and reading copy or a script still gives me like that weird feeling, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I know the weird feeling. It's like something doesn't feel normal about this, and I'm uncomfortable in my body right now.
Right. So
it's it's a real experience.
Yeah, you feel like an adolescent all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. It's like me. I'm usually not self-conscious kind of guy at all. But you put me on a microphone and like I have to read like a 30-second script for a coffee company, and all of a sudden I'm double thinking every word that I'm saying.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're like super stiff, and you're giving a class presentation, and the girl you like is staring at you, and you're like, "Oh no, this is my moment. I'm ruining it."
Right. I get all amped up, and then the mic turns on, and that's it.
Deer in headlights.
That doesn't really go away. Actually, that's kind of that's a permanent feature of doing voiceover work. No, I mean it kind of is. It's really just like you kind of learn, just like everything else in life, you kind of learn how to manage it and get yourself back to center.
How did you get into voiceover work? Like what kind of drew you to that particular art?
Well, I guess it started with acting, and it's also just personality types. I guess I just don't really have a personality to be an accountant. So just naturally, who I am and how my parents raised me, and I guess when I started doing goofy voices and talking to strangers, instead of my parents saying that's not how you do it, pick up the calculator, they kind of encouraged it, and I would tell jokes and copy my Uncle Robert, who's a big performer in the family. But specifically with voiceover, I like most kids of the 80s and 90s, I watched a ton of cartoons, especially Saturday morning, and so it was just an integral part of my life as a kid. From shows like Looney Tunes to the Nick shows like Rugrats to things on Fox like The Tick. I just to The Simpsons on primetime. It was just such a huge part of my life. And then when I saw Aladdin in theaters, it was the first time that I knew who the human being was voicing a character. Up until then, it's, I kind of had heard of Mel Blanc before, but I didn't really put two and two together, and it just didn't make sense to me.
Right. And Mel Blanc is a voiceover legend. See, I'm a big cartoon guy. You can ask Dave. Dave always tries to talk movies with me.
Yes.
And it's not my thing. But I'll zone in on cartoons no matter how old I am. And it's funny, you mentioned Mel Blanc. He did dozens of voices, but then over the years I noticed too that like Tress MacNeille, she's on the Simpsons, but like just about any cartoon you watch, she also has a voice in that too. So it's kind of interesting to me how do you bring out like distinctive performances like that? Because you could tell when it's like a Tress MacNeille voice. Like, do you have any method to where you could bring out like your own signature sound, or like how do you do that?
Oh man, so that's like that's kind of like the goal is anytime I'm approaching a character, whether it's an audition or a job, is to find my personal take on it. And I think and that I think kind of spreads across every discipline, both within the arts and just whatever you do in life. You want to have your own version of that thing. So really it's, you kind of do like the nuts and bolts of the acting work, because at the end of the day, it's still acting, right? So I want to perform, figure out who the character, exactly. So figure out who the character is, what I want in the scene, all that stuff. And then it's, just making a connection to it and, taking a risk, and usually failing, in some way, but that's how we learn, Actually, I was at a voiceover industry event the other night. It was the 200th episode of a video podcast called Voiceover Weekly, and a lot of the top voiceover talent were there. And one of the guys was saying, why not take a risk? You already don't have the job.
That's something Brian says a lot, actually.
Right,
I'm very into that.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose anyway, so you might as well go for it.
You might as well go for it. I booked. I'm the voice of Slim Jim. I took over for Macho Man Randy Savage on that one.
Nice.
God, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
So if I sent you some beef jerky, will you sign it and send it back to me?
Oh, absolutely. Just do me a favor and make it one of the longer sticks. Those little tiny bite-sized ones, it's hard to write on.
Oh, man. I am totally going to do that. So what was that like? How did you land that gig? Like, that's so interesting to me. So how did you walk into that, and how did you land that one?
All right. So here's how I walked into it. I put on clothes, and then I walked into my walk-in closet, which is where my studio is, and that's my audition space, which is one of the best things about doing voiceover work is most of the auditions I get to do from home. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. So for that one, they asked for 3 takes. They said, do one high-energy style, the way it's already been done. Do one where you're just kind of talking like yourself, like a normal dude, and then just do something funny.
Huh.
And, and so for the first 2 are pretty self-explanatory. And then for the something funny one, I was thinking about a good friend of mine who's a director out here. And he has this way about him when he gets really frustrated, he starts singing his thoughts. So he'll do like, there's so much traffic, I want to jump out of my car. And so I was just hanging out with him, so it was fresh in my mind, and I just took the copy and I just went, snap into a Slim Jim.
And the rest is history.
And you wrote the jingle.
Pretty much, that's it. And then then there was some conversation, and they ended up going with a different type of read, but that's what got me the job, I think.
Nice.
I never know for sure.
Yeah.
Well, personality, right? It was like taking a risk. It's like, this feels stupid. Let's try it.
Right. How tempted were you to let the Macho Man Randy Savage previous influence how you performed the high energy one, or were you just like, I'm going to do this all completely different?
I think it's impossible to do that high energy without thinking about Macho Man Randy Savage, unless you're not from America. Then maybe it's really easy. But I mean, we all grew up like seeing that commercial. It's impossible to like.
Yeah, you can't not say oh yeah.
You can't do it.
You have to say oh yeah afterwards.
You can't not do it. Yeah, you have to do it. Yeah, I made the fists. I felt like I had like a multicolored bright cowboy hat on. I mean, I felt like I was in it.
Bicep tassels. Yeah.
Tassels. Yeah, those like sunglasses that aren't really sunglasses. They have like the the Roman shades on them.
Which Kanye West stole from Macho Man Randy Savage. Let's be honest, Kanye West took that from him.
Right, and Macho Man, I'm sure, stole from someone else.
Blasphemy, sir. Blasphemy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to delete that. That's that's too far. We can't go there.
We want to upset the masses, That's interesting that they let you put your own spin on. You were trying to separate it. When a few years ago, when Gilbert Gottfried lost his contract to do the voice of the Affleck duck, I remember they had like auditions and seeing an interview with a guy that eventually won it, and he said he basically got it just by doing a really bad Gilbert Gottfried impression, just saying Affleck, and they said that he had him say Affleck like 100 different times. Like they'd say Affleck like it's happy, like now you're sad, like now you're super excited. So he was just doing like an impression of Gilbert Gottfried, but you're putting your own spin on a very iconic advertisement.
Yeah, and unless you're a professional impersonator, you can't help but put your own spin on it. Like it's like if all 3 of us did like impressions of Daniel Craig right now, I mean, I think one of you guys would probably win, but it's also like there'll be 3 totally different takes. Right. You can't help but be yourself in whatever you do.
Right. I think I would totally lose the whole Daniel Craig thing though, because while I know who he is, I have no idea what he sounds like.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Look, see, here's the thing. All 3 of us think we're going to lose, but if there's only 3 of us in the race, one of us has got to win.
Right.
That's true.
33% chance.
66% chance it's one of you guys.
That's one of the most inspirational things that's ever been said on the Nothing Important podcast. In a race of 3 people, somebody's got to win. That's like See, that's a T-shirt. We need merchandise, Dave. See, that is a T-shirt, my friend.
There you go.
So what projects do you have coming up in the future? You said you're working on a pilot, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you said that, but I read that.
I like that. Let's go with that. Yes, I am working on a pilot. Very important. Very confidential. I've already said too much. I really can't talk about it.
All right, next topic.
So yeah. So I'll talk about it. But that's not true. So in Los Angeles, and we're just getting into what's called pilot season, which is where all the major networks and a lot of the cable channels and whoever is producing, including I guess online now too. They're putting out auditions for their brand new shows. So there's just a concentrated period of a window of time between January through March, April, sometimes into May, where they're creating their new shows. So there's just a higher chance of getting onto one of those new shows. But because the way the industry is now, it's actually, these pilots come out all year long. Huh. So we have to kind of wait and see. So that's just a long-winded way of saying, I don't know what I'm doing next, but I got some auditions coming up, hopefully. You can take option A or option B as a response. We'll see how much time you guys have.
We're going to leave it all. We're leaving it all. No,
leave it in.
Just keep going. And then I'm developing some of my own comedy and a digital series with my writing partner, and we plan to get at least the first handful of episodes up by the end of the year.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, if you need two terrible voice-over artists for that, you can call me and Dave and be like, I need somebody who sounds like shit. You guys are perfect. we'll jump right in.
I love that.
That's all I want in life. Like here at 35
too.
years old, that's my goal. It's like I always tell my wife, like I would love to just phone died. I bet they're talking trash about me now.
Anything like that you've seen or done?
What's that? Am I back in?
Yeah. Is
Dan still on?
Is Dan still on? Nope.
Oh no, we might have lost him.
Dude, how much into my question did you hear?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I talked for a while because there was no response, so I kept talking.
Well, that's okay. We could just go ahead and end it there. I'll go ahead and send the appropriate people a message and thank him. He was a really, really cool dude.
I wanted him to answer my question.
What was your question?
When I was interning, a lot of the voice actors would come in and they'd have these really weird body movements and stuff to like get them to say certain syllables the right way or to get into a certain headspace. And I wanted to ask him if he does that or if he knows people that do that. What's the point?
Wait a minute. Hold on here. Hold on, Dave. Hold on. All right, here, let me patch him back in 1 second. Dave, you there?
Hoi hoi.
Hey, Dan's back. Yay!
Yay!
Welcome back. Episode 2 of our interview.
Yeah. Thanks for having me back, guys. You had a really good time.
You know what's interesting about that? I thought at the time only my phone cut out, and my wife is sitting here in the room with me, and the first thing I said to my wife was, because when similar things happened in the past, I'm like, I bet Dave's talking shit about me now that I'm gone.
No, I was asking a question and continuing to talk until I heard a response, which I didn't hear. I had no idea you guys weren't there.
Were you recording the whole time?
I haven't stopped.
Yeah, I haven't stopped either. So there's just going to be like a good 1 minute of really awkwardness on the episode.
I'm also still recording.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're good.
Wait, did we authorize you to record this podcast?
Yeah.
No, but my mom said it would be okay with you guys.
Oh, so, moms are always right.
Can't argue with mom.
Can't argue with mom.
All right, Dave. It's getting kind of late, but Dave has a really good question, and then we'll wrap it up. So go for it, Dave.
The third time I've said this. So I was interning at a studio in Chicago that does a lot of voiceover work, and actors would come in and they'd have certain hand gestures or body movements, even during certain syllables or phrases to get them into a certain headspace or something. And do you do anything like that, or do you know people that do something like that? Is that a thing?
Oh, to like get into it, or when they're doing the recording?
Both, actually. Some people would
Yeah,
do it to get into it. Some people, I remember a woman would like move her arm like in a wave motion during like O sounds or something. It was really odd. It was odd to watch.
Okay. I don't know if this is true. Which is, I think, usually what everyone says when they're about to start spreading a rumor.
Perfect.
But I don't know if this is true. But I heard that Donald Sutherland, when he does voiceover work, they hang up black curtains on all the windows, and he strips naked.
Nice.
Interesting.
Nice.
Which it's like one of those. I don't know if it's true, but I really want it to be true.
Yeah. I do too.
So, you know, like I just love the idea that, like, you know, when you become like when you're such an established, successful actor, you can just do things like that, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you got it, sure."
Is that just a prank on everybody? Like, let's see if they'll let me do this. Like, how much will they accommodate me because I'm Donald Sutherland?
Yeah, and that's also why I really hope it's true. I really hope Donald's just like, you know what? I can just get away with whatever I want. And maybe he's like, he says he does that, and then he's just fully clothed in there.
Yeah, nobody knows. No one's the wiser.
Yeah, no one knows. He just loves the idea that people think he's naked in there.
Right. I'm going to try to get him on the show, and every question is going to revolve around him being naked as he's doing voiceover work. That's just going to be, every single question is going to revolve around that.
So when you were on The
premise.
Simpsons as a museum curator, were you in the booth naked?
Mr. Sutherland, do you keep your socks on?
Ooh.
Well, yeah. The booth is cold.
Well, I'd like to think he's classy like that.
And they're probably very nice socks with like the garters around his, you know, right below his knees that keep the socks up.
Yeah.
So I don't want to totally deflect from the question. Yeah, I do stuff like that. Absolutely. So let's see. So there's an acting technique called Linklater, founded by a woman who's still with us. I think she's in her 80s now. Her name is Kristen Linklater. And the work, it's called Freeing Your Natural Voice. And the idea behind this work is that ever since, you know, when we're kids and we start using our voice, we have this big, beautiful full range. And as we grow up, you know, and we're whining for something and we're like going to these really high-pitched places like, Mom, I want the cookie. And your mom is like, no, I am on the phone. Shh. And you like button up and you go, oh, I can't do that. And then we cut off our range. And you can see that, like, you know, when we all have, like, when you think of, like, a stereotypical macho guy, you know, they usually talk from this deeper place. Like,
right. Yeah.
You know, that's
like my co-host with his sonorous voice.
Interesting. I feel like we're about to slip into group therapy, and I'm here for you guys. I really am.
That's good. Good. It feels good to be listened to.
It's that pleasing voice of yours.
Sometimes we just want to be heard.
I just feel like I'm at home with you guys. That's all.
Yeah. So this Linklater work just kind of opens up your voice, and it's the exercises are a lot of. They probably look really strange and very playful, but I do a lot of that type of stuff when I'm in my car on the way to an audition or recording. I do a lot of voiceover work for an NPR station in LA here called KCRW.
Oh, okay.
So, so it's a way to warm up my voice. And then, yes, when I'm recording, I might do something like as I'm going through, as I'm speaking a sentence, to prevent me from maybe dropping off at the end of a sentence, like, and try the new chicken sandwich. I will slowly extend my hand out. So I'll just go, just to kind of make me drive through to the end of the line. So it's really just a way to, it's kind of like you're conducting yourself.
Huh. It's like using kinesis to enhance your auditory. I'm off the rails on this one.
Big words. Yes. Big words.
I was really getting impressed with the sentence you were building there. It was a very expensive sentence.
Well, if there's anything a podcast named Nothing Important is known for, it's definitely its high concept philosophies and
thick and dense sentences. You got to listen to it a couple times to really unpack what they're saying.
We're just that deep. We're just that deep.
Beautiful guys. Yeah,
All right,
I do a lot of that weird stuff.
So there you go, Brian. Look into was it Linklater system?
Yeah, Linklater.
Do singers use that? Because I
Linklater.
actually have always wanted to improve my singing vocal range.
Ooh. There's definitely some crossover. I mean, you get to a point where there's some techniques that are different, and this is coming from someone that doesn't really know how to sing, but I would love to take singing lessons. So if you find someone that, is, I don't know, not bi-coastal, but coastal and Chicago, LA, we can maybe split a singing coach.
There you go. I'll keep my ear to the ground.
There you go.
I'll be your guys' singing coach.
We just sold. I don't know your qualifications, but I will totally pay you money to do that.
I can tell you this
I
much.
have absolutely zero.
if you work with Brian, you will leave being convinced that you spent your money wisely and that you know how to sing. He's a good salesman.
That was can I tell you something? That was a really great advertisement that you did with your voice. That's some voiceover work right there.
Awesome.
There you go, Dave.
I guess I got to start sending out. Do you send out auditions unsolicited, or do you have to be in with somebody?
I get them through my agent. So that was a real. I feel like you're asking for yourself on that one. You're like, if I hear Disney's casting their new Pixar movie, can I just send a tape?
Well, I was asking for myself, but then I realized that was actually a legitimate interview question.
Oh, that kind of worked out, didn't it? I get auditions through my voiceover agent, so I audition through that, but also through people I know in casting and in the industry. But they ask me to. They do that more with TV and film auditions, on camera stuff, where you can hear about an audition and go ahead and submit yourself for it if you get the copy. Mm-hmm. But for voiceover, I haven't found that way in yet.
And that's actually
interesting. Absolutely. That was a really good question.
Well, thank you.
Good job, Dave. You're making us look like we know what the hell we're doing. Good job.
Nailed it.
As Owen Benjamin said, I am the Sam Rockwell of the podcast. I just kind of drop in with something awesome once in a while and leave.
There you go. Awesome. Well, Dan Gordon, thank you so much for calling the Nothing Important podcast. It was great talking with you. I hope we can do it again. And I had an awesome time. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys. It was great being on here. Appreciate it.
All right. Absolutely. Before we let you go, do you have anything you want to plug? Website, Twitter, any of that stuff?
Yeah, you can find me online at itsdangordon.com.
Awesome. Dan Gordon.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
All right, dangordon.com.
And social media and on the web, it's Dan Gordon.
Awesome. All right, Dan Gordon, everybody. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Today's Midshow music break is the song The Garage by The Real Gone off of their album The Real Gone out of Chicago, Illinois. You also heard their cover of Personal Jesus during the transition earlier. Check them out at SoundCloud and Bandcamp, therealgone.bandcamp.com for a free digital download.
You're listening to Nothing Important.
Oh yeah, hey, my wife Kristen, say hi, Chris.
Hello.
She says hello.
Hello.
She actually brought it up. We haven't asked this in a long time, and I'm sure Dave could fill it in somewhere. What's your favorite kind of frozen pizza?
Oh God.
Favorite kind of frozen pizza?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say okay, I got it. It's the Amy's brand, and it's a spinach pizza with a rice crust.
Spinach pizza with a rice crust.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Amy's. Here's the thing: I'm not gluten free. I like gluten. I eat gluten. The rice crust for that frozen pizza is it's nice and doughy and soft and still crisp on the outside. It's fantastic.
Wow.
I'm gonna check
I
that
never
out.
even heard of that. Yeah.
Something else. I don't really know where I have it listed. Probably somewhere on my website. But another voiceover job that I have is I'm the Kelly Blue Book guy.
Ah, nice.
Really?
Yeah, so that's been going on for a number of years. The KBB.com. So I do their radio spots, but also I'm the face. So like there's like a commercial that's been running over like sports events for years now, where it's like a city nightscape, and then like I'm a hologram that comes out of a brick wall. I talk about Kelly Blue Book.
That's awesome. We always put pictures up of our guests on the website and Twitter, and now I'm going to find a Kelly Blue Book picture to throw up there.
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go. And I can also have my publicist send over some editorial shots of me.
Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll pick one out. Absolutely. Make my job easier. Yep, I don't want to have to Google it. I do this for free.
Make my job easy. I'm not going to say it. And in Chicago, by the way, I studied at Black Box Acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys ever go and see theater, but Black Box is incredible.
Oh, what is it?
They're a theater company. It's an acting studio, but I think they also produce their own work. It's just the style of acting is just so exciting. It's very like visceral and intimate, and it's unpredictable and very grounded. Really, really good work.
Well, maybe we'll have to get them on the podcast if they're referred by the one day.
There's two ladies. Yeah, there's two ladies that run it. One of them is still a teacher at Steppenwolf. But they're super funny, phenomenal ladies.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thanks so much, bud. I totally appreciate you coming on with us today.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you guys. I really appreciate having me on.
Yeah, I hope we can do it again sometime. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck with everything.
All right, man.
All right.
Thanks, you too. All right, take care.
All right, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Be sure to follow Nothing Important online at nothingimportantpodcast.com. Find us on iTunes, on Twitter at NotImportantPC, and you can also find us on Facebook. Nothing Important is recorded with help from Third City Sound in Joliet, Illinois. Thanks for being awesome.